Y'all just further now.
Okay, I got a significant update regarding East Palestine and the contaminated area. So not only for 11 days did we not receive a single update regarding the situation, but we finally do have the Ohio EPA chief with a statement regarding a plume of chemicals. Let's take a listen.
We know that there is a plume moving down the Ohio River, so all of our neighboring states, state departments, and Arsenco are in constant communication about the location of the plume. We think it's on its way around Huntsville or Huntington, West Virginia now, and so all of those water systems are in constant communication on when it may be at their intake, and they're either shutting down and or using the treatment available that they have on site.
There is a plume of chemicals moving down the Ohio River near Huntington, West Virginia right now. What I want to bring your attention to now is from Raw's Alerts. This video is showing exactly who would be affected. This number is saying 5+ million affected. I'm not quite sure how accurate that is or where they get their estimates from, but you can see all the way from Pittsburgh, all the way, all along the state line of West Virginia, all along the state line of Kentucky, and all along the state line of Indiana, and even around off to Illinois on the southern tip. Now, for an even better map, and this is from Abby and Kat, and what you're going to notice here is readers added context regarding this map that they thought people might want to know. The map is of the Ohio River Basin and does not accurately represent areas of potentially contaminated drinking water. Multiple agencies and locales are actively testing ground and river-based drinking water and have found no contamination. Yet we just had the EPA chief on video saying there's a plume of pollution near Huntington, West Virginia. Why is there being added context if clearly that's going completely against what the government is saying? And this is why all of this censorship needs completely pulled back. Stop tagging and flagging these individual profiles of misinformation or might be missing context, because the majority of the time it just lets people know there's something fishy about this and that it's probably not accurate. It completely defeats the purpose of having it in the first place, because it's become such a joke of a added context or misinformation. Now, this is from Reuters. Ohio cleaning up toxic train derailment as pollution plume moves downstream. Now, this goes on to talk about how this happened 11 days ago. They don't say why it took 11 days for the state official to say anything, but I think of the specific things that we need to listen here, specifically about the plume of pollution, is the plume of pollution in the Ohio River is moving at 1 mile per hour towards the Mississippi River, nearing Huntington, West Virginia. On Tuesday afternoon, said Tiffany Kavalik, chief of the Surface Water Division of the Ohio EPA. This is what's hilarious. Cities in the plume's path can turn off their drinking water intakes as it floats by, Kavalik said. Drinking water tests have not raised concerns, and normal water treatment would remove any small amounts of contaminants that may exist. Officials said the volume of the river diluted the plume, and the plume did not pose a serious threat. I don't know. Do you trust them? I don't know why you would suggest that an entire city turns off its water intake, but on the same breath they say that the river volume is enough to dilute it. I honestly don't think, I think that the spread is too far and too large. They don't have any accurate numbers, period. Not people on the ground, not any government official, not any individual employee at Norfolk. I don't think anyone knows. I think that it's honestly, it took too long to get any kind of meaningful access and meaningful reporting, water reporting, air reporting done, because people were terrified of what happened. And I think the spread has gotten too large. It's already touched too many things. It's already crossed too many counties, too many regions. I don't think anyone at this point can give you an accurate statement regarding whether something's safe or not. I don't know. Do you think people are going to trust that? I don't. I mean, I think some people will just don't even know it's happening or care enough to know, will just drink water as normal. But I think the people who are paying attention are probably sitting here like, I'm going to buy some bottled water. I'm going to go buy this. I'm going to go get water test kits for home because they don't trust what these officials have said. Why did it take you 11 days? It's so messy now. The situation is so ridiculous. And I have large issue with a lot of the takes that are being happened on it because it's a lot of conservative pundits just talking some BS about the Biden administration or Pete Buttigieg. Like, dude, real people are terrified right now due to some odorless, invisible toxin that coated their entire town and has been let into the Ohio River and is now crossing state lines. People aren't going to reconcile that with the blackout on this, the lack of media coverage, reporters being arrested. It's a shame. Now, the final thing that this goes on, he talks about some of the statements from the union. Now, I think one quote in particular regarding the union safety and the railroads and the safety department with the transportation division, no one wants to listen until we have a town blown off the face of the earth. Then people listen, said Whitaker, whose union is the largest U.S. railroad union representing conductors, engineers, and other workers. I don't know how you can reconcile someone saying they blew a town off the face of the earth and then 5 days later being told, come on back in. Water's fine, guys. It's all good. And many people didn't have accurate numbers regarding their own private water wells. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's a lot more that's going to be coming out about this, maybe as slow as humanly possible, or, maybe it'll get enlightened. I'm going to leave you with this message. Like, you need to be prepared. You need to be concerned. You need to not just listen to everything blindly that your government tells you. I think if you haven't figured that out by now, that will almost always lead to your detriment. I wish I could greatly sit here and say, I believe the government has my best interest in mind, and that these people would definitely not lie to me. But I think on its scale and where it's at currently in the news cycle warrants great scrutiny. It warrants that you demand better. It warrants that you demand answers from your government. And it serves as another reminder that it will always be up to you in your own individual community to protect yourselves and be prepared. Because even when a random railroad company comes in and blows your entire town up, the government still won't help you. Anyways, peace.